appreciate it. It reminds me maybe I need to shorten that intro. Um, but yeah, I'm happy to be here, happy to present this. I feel like my enthusiasm will come through the screen at you. I get to do a lot of these type of presentations, not only to potential clients that I may be working with, but also my colleagues who will often have me put on trainings just to keep them up to speed on the latest and greatest for digital marketing ideas and practices. And what I would like to do is you're here today to talk about Google AdWords, and we're going to break that down. This is going to be over 2 days. So today we're going to look at kind of the what and why of Google AdWords and how they work. And then next week we'll come back and hopefully by my encouragement, you will do a little bit of experimentation yourselves and have some data maybe you could work with. We can answer questions and talk about how do you monitor and measure ongoing success for any Google AdWords campaign that you may start as a result of all this. As with anything, there could be a tremendous learning curve for something like this. Google AdWords, it sounds very technical, but you don't need any computing skills. You don't need a lot of computer science knowledge. Your knowledge about your own business is your biggest tool and resource. Google makes it very easy to get started and find success, but it does take some intentional thought and an openness to maybe experiment a little bit on ideas that you otherwise wouldn't think would work. I've had a lot of experience with folks that had surprising success in ways that didn't really anticipate. So I will start sharing my screen with the presentation I put together, and we'll get started. And feel free to post any questions you might have into the chat box, and maybe Gabby will call them out now or later in the presentation. But to start out, I'm going to minimize this so I can see more of the presentation. Google AdWords, it is the superpower right under your nose. And if you've been on the internet at all, I'm sure all of you have in some way come across a question, a need, something of that nature that drove you to Google to search for an answer. And so millions and billions of people do this all the time. They're looking and they Google it. I mean, that's become a verb in our culture. To Google something is to search online, usually through Google, but you could also, there are other search engines like DuckDuckGo or Bing, any number of ways to search. But Google kind of owns this domain in a lot of ways. And so it's instructive to kind of look deeply into how they work and how they operate, because most of the smaller search engines and other services operate in the same manner. So Google AdWords started in the 90s, maybe 97, 98. I can't remember the exact date, but it is a process in which you're going to advertise your business, but you're going to use it, advertise in a way where you're using certain words and phrases associated with your business that Google will help those people find your services and your product. Let me click forward. So what are we talking about here? This is a typical Google search page, and you will see that's broken up into two blocks. And any searches you've done, you've probably encountered this, where these ads at the top, it clearly says ad. I think now they've changed it to say sponsored. And these are businesses who have paid to have this position at the top spot of the search results. Down below are the organic search results. So folks who pay a fee to appear for certain search terms, they're going to show up at the top. And people who don't, or even those who do show up in the top search position, will often end up in the organic as well. And then every time a user clicks on one of these, that charges, it's a charge to the advertiser. It's what we call a pay per click. And so that is how Google earns its money, and how it derives data to show the advertiser, look, we ran the search campaign and so many people clicked on your ad and went to your website, or they went to a shopping page or to a video, wherever you might direct them. So there's organic results and paid results. Everybody wants their organic results to put them at the top of the page. The truth of the matter is that in many business verticals, competition is so intense that it's hard to remain at the top unless you have some very good practices in your online marketing. And so to bypass that, you can pay to be at the top through a Google ad. So what are some success stories? Because it's easy to see a search page like that and wonder, is this really worth it for those businesses who show up at the top of the page? Well, one of the very early users of Google Ads was Amazon. Long before it's, was the retailer for the entire planet practically. It was just selling books online. And they found a formula, Jeff Bezos found a formula that for every dollar he spent in advertising, he made $1 plus more in purchases on Amazon. And it was small then. Well, it grew from the late 90s until 2011. They were spending in excess of $55 million a year just on Google Ads. And as late as 2018, now they were spending $22 million a month on Google Ads. So Amazon, as big as it is, it doesn't feel to me, and probably to you as well, that they need that kind of help in finding and attracting customers. Yet they use it, and they use it to great success. So I'm not promising that you all could be the next Amazon, but you never know. I mean, Amazon used it very well and strategically, and it really grew their business. One thing that I want to point out to you is that in marketing and advertising, when I'm presenting to a client, they often think that because digital marketing has so much data behind it, that we know we have the magic formulas, that you spend X amount of dollars, you target X amount of people, and you'll get this many purchases. Eventually, marketing campaigns can get to that level, but most of the time they're an experiment. So it's art versus science. There's an art of marketing. There's an art to presenting yourself to the world to see what resonates with a potential customer to, contract with you for a service or buy your product. And so, there's a balance there. After a while, after you advertise for a while on Google Ads, you will see that the art of it starts to turn more into a science. I'm thinking of a particular client that I've been dealing with. And she has a business, and she's does Google Ads only. That is the only form of advertising she does. And when she wants more clients, she adds a few dollars per month to, per day in a month. So she spends, I don't know, $500 to $700 a month on Google Ads. And so when she wants more clients, she adds more dollars and she gets more clients. When she wants to go on vacation for a month in Europe, she turns down the dollars and the clients start going away. So she feels less pressure to be there in her business. So, she's got it down to a science where she can dial it in, when she needs more business and when she needs less business. So you can get there, but it doesn't start there. It starts more in the experimentation stage, where you're experimenting with, different methods and words, phrases, and things of like that to attract the customers. And that leads me to what Google AdWords are not. I've encountered a number of businesses, and they say, well, I need to get the word out that I'm in business, or I need people to come to me, and I want Google to be a megaphone for me. That can happen. But if you were looking on a scale of 1 to 100, how much does Google amplify the awareness of your business? It may only be about 8 to 10%. Google is very good at capturing customers who are ready to buy. They're searching for a solution, a location, hours, information. They're wanting to take action. And that, in terms of sales, when you're talking about the life of your business, we're talking about the funnel. At the top of the funnel is awareness and interest. So there are certain marketing tactics that you have there. That would be social media, YouTube, blogs, things of that nature. Those get the awareness out. Those get the word out about who you are and what you do. And then as people travel down the funnel and they're getting ready to actually do business with you, it's going to be things like Google Adwords. So that's something important to keep in mind. Here are some terms that I want to just talk to you a little bit about of Google AdWords, what you'll encounter. And you may have heard these already. If you have done any investigation around what Google may do for you in terms of advertising, you've probably seen this. Keywords. Keywords are going to be words associated with your business. If you're a pizza parlor, it's going to be pizza, it's going to be salad, it's going to be breadsticks, it's going to be pepperoni, it's going to be delivery, it's going to be pickup, it's going to be any number of things like that. Ad groups are going to be words and phrases around that, free delivery or hot and ready pickup, things like that. You're going to clump those together in an ad campaign where it's going to be people who are looking for, I need a quick dinner meal. Now, an example of some other ad groups related to pizza. Here we are at dinner time. Maybe you are a coach of a little league team, or you are a dance instructor for a group of dancers, and you want to go out for a birthday party for one of the team members, or a celebration for a successful dance recital, or a big game that they won. So you might have another set of AdWords around catering or large groups, parties, things of that nature. And so Google helps you separate those so that you can allocate different levels of dollars to each ad group. So you're not spending a bunch of money on a group of AdWords that you're like, okay, winter time is a bad time to be advertising for maybe big group get-togethers for parties and stuff like that, their birthdays or whatever. So you might turn down the dollars for that ad group and then ratchet up the dollar amount for other things that might be going on in that season. Ad headlines and text, these are going to be the construction of the Google ad. So it's going to be whatever the big headline is at the top. Following the pizza example again, hot and ready pizza for dinner, and then the text is going to be talking about how quickly they can perform and put together a pizza and have it ready for you to pick up or to deliver to your home. Ad extensions, these are going to be clickable, like your clickable phone number. It could be a clickable directions. It could be a certain page on your website that you want to direct people to fill out a form or to learn more about something. So the ad extensions are directly clickable to a certain action. The bid, this is how Google Ads work, that all words are not equal. In the Google universe, some words are more valuable than others. And so you get to tell Google, what you're willing to spend. If you were in real estate, let's say, and luxury beach condo is going to be a high value word, and it might cost you, $10 per click to get somebody to click on it. And you are a real estate agent that's selling not beachfront condos, but mobile homes or single family homes or something like that. You're not going to bid for a word like that, so you're going to save your dollars for the words that mean the most to you. Quality score is just how well your ad is running and the value of the words that you have. And then the campaign budget is obviously the budget that you set, because Google doesn't force you to spend a certain amount. They will warn you if you spend too little, you're not going to get as much action out of it as you would with more money. But sometimes more money doesn't get you any better results. I've had a number of clients where Google recommended you should spend $9 a day on your Google ad account. But we looked at the numbers, and it wasn't going to profit them any more than running $6 a day. So, and Google's transparent with that. So you don't have to guess. You can see the numbers for yourself. Live demo. This is where I want to talk to you about how you're going to set this up. Because I think learn by doing is a real thing. And, I can talk to you and show you slides with, graphs and letters and numbers and all that stuff. But I think seeing how it works and going through the initial setup is valuable. So I'm going to stop sharing here. We're going to hop back out. And what I'm going to do, let me go back. Oh, let me see. I got to exit that. There we go. We're going to exit that. And we're going to go over to a live search page. This is a client that I am dealing with, that I work with quite a bit. And so they have, whenever you're a business owner, Google allows you to set up kind of a listing, like a Yellow Pages listing that don't really exist anymore, or not the way they used to. But it's your own little space on Google where you could tell the customer a little bit more about yourself. So this isn't, you don't own this page. This is a Google search results page. But this corner here, the side here, this box, they let you be in control of what's in here. You get to pick the picture, the map, your name, reviews, information about your business when you're open and close, all sorts of information. You can go down here and list your products. So for them, this is homes that they have for sale. You can, you have reviews there, talk a little bit about your business, and then you can make little blog posts, mini blog posts that will show up in the Google search results page. So your Google business profile is very, very valuable. They launched this probably almost 10 years ago. They made a major effort to get businesses to sign up. People have, they're still trying to attract those businesses into doing it. And they have said in the past year and a half that they are going to lean very heavily in favor of businesses who have a Google business profile set up versus people who haven't, because people who haven't, Google, looks at them as if they don't care as much about their business, or they're not as active in making sure that they have their best foot forward for the customers, because Google cares more about the end user, you and I, on the website, that they're providing us good information. And the caution I would make here is, if you don't claim your business page, and I'll talk about claiming it in a minute, if you don't claim it, somebody else could come along and add a photo to your Google business profile that you don't like. In fact, there was a real estate business 2 years ago that their competitor put a photo there. And yet another business that I encountered, their competitor came along and told Google that they had permanently closed. Neither of which, the photo was not right, was unethical, and the fact that the business was closed was a complete lie. So both of those businesses I encourage to get in, claim their business listing on Google, so that they can control that information, and anybody who tries to make change, they have the ability to stop it. Claiming your Google business profile is very simple. You simply just go to Google and type in Google business profile. It'll take you to the page. It'll ask you to put in your business name. And then it'll go through 3 or 4 or 5 steps to help figure out if you are the owner of that business and to verify you. And once you're verified, it gives you access to this dashboard here where you can make changes to all aspects of it. Verification of your Google business profile can happen 2 ways. One, they might send you a text message that you reply to, and then they do a review and verify you, or they can send you a postcard in the mail. And on that postcard is just a 6-digit number that you put back into Google on the Google business profile page, and that helps verify you. And then from there, you can start making changes and really take ownership of this space. And the reason I think that this is important for you in a Google AdWords context is because through this dashboard is the easiest way to start your first Google AdWords campaign. And we'll do that right here live. But you can see there's any number of different aspects that you can add to your Google business profile. And it will tell you, like here, profile strength looks good. If it's missing some information, or Google thinks that you're missing the mark in some ways, it will tell you that. And the good thing too about the Google business profile is that it will show you performance. So you click on that and it will tell you how many people went to Google, searched your business or searched something around your business, but then found your profile and then clicked on something in it to either come and learn more about your business, to go to your website, to make a call to you, to book an appointment. You can see all of these actions are available to you, and it gives you this information, on a monthly basis. So it really does provide you good information moving forward on how well Google is helping your business. One business locally that I worked with, they thought that they were attracting businesses just within the city limits. And when they established their Google business profile, it showed them that they were actually getting quite a bit of business from a neighboring town, which they had no idea that was happening. And so it totally changed their mindset so that they could start marketing to that town and attract even more business. So if you are in a position where you want to grow your business, or keep the customers you have, this type of data will be helpful to you. Now, once you've got this set up, like I said, Google makes it very easy to advertise, and you can just look through the icons here and you'll see advertise. Click that, and it'll bump you right into the Google Ads dashboard. And it bumped me a little bit too far. Let's see. I'm going to go back a few steps because I was experimenting with this a little earlier just to make sure it was going to walk us through the right way. So it should start here, and it will ask you, where should people go after clicking your ad? Do you want them to go to your Google business profile? I don't think so. I would rather you say, go to your website. And you make sure your website is there. You click next. And what it does, Google in real time will scan your website, look at the imagery of it. It'll pop it up here on this little virtual phone so that you can verify, oh yeah, that's my website. That's how it looks. And it will start reading through your website for certain keywords, what they think your business is about. And so depending on how well you have constructed your website and have the right words and phrases that associate with what you do and what you provide, that will help Google help you build a better ad. And then they want to know, what are your goals? And it gives you 4 goals. Do you want to get more calls? Do you want people to go to your website? Do you want people to come to your physical location? Or do you want people to see you on YouTube? A lot of, if you are a pizza place, you're going to want the calls. If you want more website sales or leads, maybe you have a form online that you want people to fill out, like an interest form. So if you're like a property rental agency. You might want them to go to the website so they can fill out a pre-qualification form. If you're a retailer, a store that, a boutique that offers different products, you'd want them to come to your physical location. And then if you have a big presence video-wise, you might select that. But you pick one and you move to the next screen. And here's where they start building out the ad. And helpfully, on the side, they show you how it's going to appear in search results. They show you in the kind of the mobile phone view. What you'll find is that 60 to 80% of people who look you up on Google do so on their mobile phone, not necessarily a desktop. So that's why they show you this view. And what Google is doing here, you'll see they have headline 1, 2, and 3. The reason they have 3 different headlines is because they want to be able to show more than one ad, depending on what the person types in. So if somebody types in, pizza near me or pizza delivery near me, you might put in a headline that, quick pizza delivery in 5 cities, or quick pizza delivery in Morro Bay, something like that. And then if you offer party space for kids throwing birthdays, you might have a headline about that. If you have a pizza parlor with games or other activities, or something else that is unrelated, you might put in a different headline, so that depending on what a person types in, they'll see an ad that more corresponds with what they're looking for. Right here, you can add more headlines. I think they'll let you add one or two more headlines, but it limits you to a certain extent until you get the campaign up and running, and then you can come up with any number of different combinations. But along with that, you write in the description, and as you're writing these things, you'll see what it looks like here on the side. So the headlines appear at the top in blue. The description show up down below. Now, the one thing that I will tell you, and this is the biggest mistake that small businesses make, is that they put in one headline and they put in one description, and they want it to apply to all customers who might be looking them up. You need to take advantage of the dynamic changes that Google will do in terms of the configuration of your ad, so that when people have a question in their mind, they're looking for a solution to a problem, they're looking for a product, the ad that's shown to them gives them the answer, gives them the product, so that they feel like, oh, I was just asking about that, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, so that they're more likely to click. And when you're putting in your description, be upfront and quick about what it is you are providing. A number of businesses, they love flowery words, and they are very, they're trying to set a mood. They're trying to set a scene. This is not the place to do that. If you're going to set a mood, set a scene, do that on your website, do that in social media. In Google AdWords, get to the point. I'm an attorney who specializes in family law, probate, and divorce. Just get right to it. Don't say, I'm an attorney with 30 years of practice, highly educated, very compassionate, blah, 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 all that stuff. People don't care. They want to know, what do you do? What are you going to do for me? Are you family law? Are you probate? Are you divorce? Good. That's what I want. So just get to the point. If you have a phone number that you want them to call, put that in there. If you want them to show your location, put that in there. If you don't want them to show your location, that's fine. If you don't have a brick and mortar location, you do not have to put that in your Google ad. Google will want to know where you're located, where your actual physical address is. But if you tell them you don't want that visible, they will leave it out. Hit next. And then here is where it starts coming up with what it thinks are keywords and themes and phrases that it thinks that people would be willing to click on your ad and talk to you about. And depending, again, this depends on how well your website is put together. If you, again, like if you're an attorney and you're talking about all your experience and how compassionate you are and all of the things, but you don't talk about family law, probate, divorce, all of that, Google's not going to come up. I mean, it may guess that, you know, these are keywords that you might want, but it's going to miss the point. So it's good that your website is on point with what you do and what you provide, so that these ads will come up with the right words and phrases. So you can select those here. And I would just say, don't worry about if there's more that you want to add, because once the ad campaign is up and running, you can always mix and match, add words, take away words. If you are in a business where people often think you do one thing, but you don't actually do that thing, like if you're a plumber, but you don't do commercial work, you can tell Google to exclude commercial plumbing, commercial services from your ad campaign, and people who are looking for that won't go and click your ad. You click next. It'll ask you to pick a radius. You know, how big do you want this search campaign to run? So you can select that there. If you have specific zip codes, you can add that. And then here's where we get to the budget. And this is what I find is very interesting. So they're making an estimate. This is a forecast, that it's a guess, but it's a very educated guess. So it's saying if you spend $8.20 a day on Google search ads, up to a max of $249 a month, they are predicting that you'll get 80 to 170 ad clicks each month. An ad click is an opportunity. So every person who clicks on your ad either goes to your website, calls your phone number, does whatever. So you need to think of those in terms of, these are opportunities to interact with a client and actually do business. And then depending on how much you spend, it either goes up or it goes down, or you can enter your own budget. So if those numbers look too high, you can come down here and say, I just want to do $6 a day, or no, let's do $4 a day. You'll see it turned orange there, and it says that with a budget lower than your competitor range, your ads may not get you noticeable results. So this is not universal, because the client that we're dealing with here is real estate. That's a hot button topic, and there are a lot of realtors who are running Google ad campaigns. So Google is saying most of your competitors are spending far more than this. So if you spend this little, your ad isn't going to show up as much. And it's just warning them. I mean, you can do whatever it is that you want. I think there is a minimum. Let's see. $1.50 a day. So 10 to 30 clicks a month. So you get to set that. Once you get up above these numbers, typical competitor budgets, again, these will change by industry. You'll see different numbers. So you find what's comfortable for you. And once you commit to this, you can turn it off. So if you put in a number, you tell it to start, and it runs for a week, and you change your mind or something happens in your business or whatever, you can pause it or stop it. You're not committed to completing the month with this amount. So it's a good place to experiment with advertising. And then you hit next, and it starts going through, making sure that it has all the information. And then the next page, it'll ask you to put up a credit card number that it will bill for this campaign. All right, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go back to this. We'll go to the slide. So we just did the live demo, setting up Google business profile. Again, you go to Google business profile, just Google that, and it will lead you through how to set up and verify your business online, get you connected. And then from that dashboard, you're able to start a Google ad campaign. Next week, I've got more I'm going to say, but I just want to say next week, we're going to talk about how do you monitor and measure for success, because once it's up and running, You don't want to be stuck in the position where the only way you know it's working is whether or not the phone's ringing or whether or not people are walking through your door. You want to know how many people are actually seeing this ad, and what are they clicking on? What words are most valuable to them? Are they, if you have a business that's heavily influenced by season, like if you're in tourism and spring and summer are going to be a big deal for you, words related to tourism or outside visitors, those are going to be words that work well. And then as seasons change, you might want to mix up those words. So these are 4 tools that you're going to be able to use, and we'll go over these in more detail on next week. You know about Google Business Profile, and you saw that dashboard. Google Ads, once you have the ad campaign running, it will give you access to a dashboard where you can look in excruciating detail at everything that's going on. Your eyes will cross, but I promise you it's not as difficult or as intimidating as it first seems. There's some very easy ways of navigating it and figuring out good, insightful information without having to become a computer scientist to understand it all. And I'll show you an example in a minute. Google Analytics and then Google Search Console. These 3 dashboards are highly valuable. The Google Ads dashboard really looks at the advertising campaign, the words that you're using, and the kinds of customers, what times of day, what days of the week, what words, what ad groups, what cities are these people in. And so it looks in depth at the ad. Google Analytics looks at your website. So it's looking at your website. Once a person clicks on the ad and they go to your website, what are they doing? What kind of behaviors are they? Are they just going to the homepage and then clicking away? Are they going to a shopping page on the website? How long are they spending there? Are they clicking around looking for something that it becomes obvious that you're missing a piece of your website that people are looking for, that there's good information there? And then the Google Search Console. So this is, if I could talk about these in order, Google Ads looks at the ads. Google Analytics looks at your user, people coming to your website. And then Google Search Console is a window into how does Google look at your website? Not a customer, not you, but how does Google see your website? And it shows you some deficiencies or opportunities there. This is a Google AdWords dashboard. And again, it looks intimidating. Don't be intimidated. I will show you. Don't need to see into every one of these tabs. There's only 2 or 3 that you actually need to look at, and it's very obvious if things are working or if they're not. This is the Google Analytics tab. Again, there's a lot of information here, and it looks intimidating, but I promise you it's not. There's only 2 or 3 things you need to look at here. And then this is the Google Search Console. This is a simpler dashboard, but it certainly, it can be intimidating. But again, don't worry about it. It's very easy to maneuver through. So now I want to talk about keywords, because I feel like once you have your Google Business Profile set up and you're ready to start looking into creating a Google AdWords campaign, many businesses that I encounter don't really understand their customers as well as they think they do. And I'm not saying that that's you, but I've run into a lot of businesses who in their line of business, there's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of technical terminology. There's a lot of trade terminology in there. And customers, when they go to Google to search for something, they don't use any of those words. They don't even know what those words are. In many cases, they don't know those words exist. And so these clients that I've worked with have been surprised when they look at their Google Analytics and their Google AdWords campaign that, well, wait a minute, I thought if I said this and this and this and this, that people would find me and they would come to me and, business would be great. And it's not happening. And so we dive into their keywords. that they use for the campaigns, and we generate a whole new set to figure out what are people actually looking for? What are they actually, what questions are they searching online? And so I'm going to step out of here and I'm going to show you, this is not a free resource, but there's a free trial to this resource for 7 days. And I think it's worth signing up, getting into it, doing a quick search on your business category, getting some really fresh, very profitable, very high search content ideas, and then canceling, because that's really all you need it for. You don't need to do this on an ongoing basis. I do in my business because I'm doing it for multiple categories, but and I did it for a hair salon. This is the example that I did, but the website is answerthepublic.com. There's a trial, 7-day trial. You sign up, you give them your credit card, you can use it for 7 days and then cancel. And that's perfectly fine if you want to do that. But what it does is you put in your business category here, make sure it's set to United States, and it does a search on what questions, what words, what comparisons are people using right now in conjunction with that. And I know we just got a few more minutes here, and I want to leave time for questions. But so I picked hair salon, United States, and it's going to give you, it's going to throw a lot of numbers and things at you, but it is very insightful, and it breaks it down visually, so you can really see where the volume is. So if you scroll down here, it puts it on a flywheel, and there are a couple of them, and we'll go through it. So I just looked hair salon. So these are questions. Where is it? Yeah, questions about hair salon. So if you look here, the inner circle, here's the inner circle. It tells you what are the questions. This tells you the daily search volume. And then above it in the outer ring, it tells you the estimated price for that phrase, what Google would charge you to get in front of those people. And so you can look through here. Sometimes, depending on your category, this could be lit up with all kinds of numbers and things. Hair salons, not so much in the question category, except when you get down to this next one, prepositions. And I don't know why prepositions is a big one, but you can see here that, hair salon near me for ladies, 2,900 searches a day, $1.81 per click. So, if you wanted to use that search term or search phrase in your Google ads, it's getting searched a lot. Here's one even searched more: hair salon near me open. 22 over 22,000, $2.7 there, $2.70. So you can see it gives you some ideas, and really what it does is it moves you away from things that you think people are searching for to things that they actually are searching for. Hair salon with prices near me. There was one I looked at here. I'm looking here. I don't know what hair salons that can do wolf cuts. I don't know what that is, but apparently people are searching for it. So it's kind of interesting. Most business categories, retail and service providers, hair salon near me, that's going to be a top one. But you can search through here, and the idea isn't that you pick the one with the highest volume. It's finding one that's unique, one that would relate to you, that you think that, oh, that might trigger some searches in my area. Hair salon for men near me, hair salon for kids, hair salon for curly hair. There are any number of different combinations. Hair salon to donate hair, hair salon to rent. So it's giving you a lot of different options on things to look for. Hair salon and spa. So if you have a hair salon that also has spa services, this is something that is good to know. And it would sometimes will instruct you on words that aren't as popular, aren't as well performing, and helps you not waste time or money using those in a search ad campaign. And the other thing that I would say that this is very good for, if you have a website, and it's good to use these in your social media. when you put a post up in the text, use these same words and phrases, because although Facebook, Instagram doesn't work exactly like Google, it still is trying to help connect people with businesses that they might be interested in. So using these in social media would be very great. And then certainly using them on pages or in blogs on your website would be very, very valuable. Again, this is free, and it breaks it down in so many different ways. I mean, you can spend a lot of time here, but it's important just to, pick out some ones that you want to start with, and you can always move to others later. I see things popping up in the chat, and I'm actually at the end here. We've got a few more minutes, so I will stop the share. And Gabby, if there's things I need to respond to or answer, I am ready to do so.
Okay, let's see. We have one question in the chat box from Anne. She says, so if you are managing a bunch of accounts, would you recommend to do answerthepublic.com for each client?
Yes, yeah, and that's what I do on a daily basis. I go in there, and because I work with in my line of work with businesses of all types, I have a paid subscription, so I'm always just dropping in different industries over time just to see what's popping right now, and either use that in their advertising campaigns or pass it on as a recommendation. Yeah, good question though.
Okay, and we have another question from Terry. She says, do you have to pay for Google Workspace to get access to analytics, AdWords, Search Console, etc.?
No, those are free. You can add those on. Google Analytics, you'll have to get the Google Analytics Pixel, which you can put on your website, and I can provide some information there in the next class. But everything there is free. The workspace, yeah, you do get billed for that, because I think it gives you a specialized email address, but you shouldn't have to pay for Search Console, Google Analytics, Google Business Profile. The only thing you're going to pay for is the AdWords. Good questions, though. Does
Okay.
anybody else have a question, or comment, or?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, if anyone has any additional questions, you can feel free to unmute your mics, or you can continue to just type it in the chat box, any questions that you all have.
And while we're waiting for that, I want to say that as an incentive to come back next week, not only are we going to go through the different dashboards and kind of review what information is available and how to dissect the things that are most important to you, but as I told Gabby before we came on, I can provide a document that explains in a little bit greater detail each of these aspects, so that you're going to get a copy of the slides, but if you're not taking notes, you might have missed some things. So this additional document we'll make available next week, and you can download that, and you'll have a fuller explanation of every aspect. Is anybody has anybody claimed their Google Business Profile yet? I'm curious how far along folks might be. If you have, let me know. I'd love to check it out. If you have questions about it, bring those to bring them forward now or at the next class.
You're welcome, Terry. Let's see. Anne says, if we have a GA4 managing account, will it hurt the client if they have their own Google page plus the analytics page?
Well, they can, yeah, GA4. So Google Analytics, previously they had what they called Universal Analytics. They're moving over to the GA4. And I think the Universal Analytics sunset in June or July. So that data will stop flowing that direction and will only flow to the GA4 pixels now. So if they, and I can't remember which direction if you're managing it or they, but in any event, if you have a client, they can add you as a user, where you can see their information, and there's higher levels of ad administration where they can let you in to help manage the account. That's how we work. We have our clients, some of them have existing Google Analytics accounts, and they add us as admins, and we can go in and manipulate what we need to manage their ad campaigns. So in either direction, you could add them as a user, or they can add you. Yeah, you wouldn't have to set up a separate account or dashboard. Well, I appreciate your attention. I really do. I like I said at the beginning, I think you could see the passion, the energy that comes through. I get to talk about this stuff all the time and present to clients and try and make a difference in their business. So I'm hoping that there's some takeaways here that I provided you that you'll be able to bring into your business and make a difference for yourselves. You certainly don't need a big advertising agency to manage all this. You are capable of doing it yourself, unless you're just too busy. But I really would advise all of you to, or encourage you to experiment with it, try it out. You know, $10, $12, $35, you're not going to lose a lot of money just to see how it might work. And I will tell you, you should let it run for a while, just so you have some good data to make a decision. But it really does work. It is a superpower right under your nose.